is going to be these. And I said, these are just fun. And I had fun. I think I actually, I could go get my torch after I do throw these to show you how to, because basically these are just little domes. This was obviously a little triangular shape. And these are just, and I think, Jen, you tried one that looked like an acorn.
Well, that was, I call that my happy little accident. If you know who, the painter is that always, if he messed up,
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah.
Yes.
I just made a happy little accident. It's on my phone. So I was throwing the closed form, but I ended up with this little indent, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm just going to turn that into an acorn, and you can see it.
It didn't.
I actually sold it, so.
Yeah, it didn't. It ended up not becoming a salt and pepper shaker.
But it could have. I
It
could
could
have, and or it could have cut it off the top and turned it into a lidded form.
Yeah.
Or,
And this is really, and I'm going to go, I've got some corks. I meant to bring these because this is, there's a multi-pack of corks you can get at Michael's. And this was kind of a mid-size. And what I did is actually made a mark with the cork when this is drying to make sure that I haven't got sick. So
With
by
the
the
big
time,
end.
yeah, with the big end, this was actually the large end when this was still soft. So that by the time this shrinks, the small end will fit in here very nicely. I mean, you can still do an impression in here and put a little cork there. Somebody actually put a little cork here at the top because you've got all sorts of different sizes. But this is a real neat way that you can have your hand over here, easily fill this, put the cork in it, and you can put a lot in it. And it said these, I can't remember if they were half a pound or what now.
They look like 3/4.
It could be 3/4. So I've got some pounds here, so we'll see what happens. And once these stiffen up a little bit, my wood behind me, I used a piece of wood.
I think it's behind. No.
Yes, it is entirely behind me. I don't have a paddle. I'm going to eventually cut this with a handle to make it a paddle. So it's just basically using this. And once it sets up a little bit, before there's any holes in it, and sometimes even while it's still attached to the bat, I will start with the shaping on this. And because if you try to do the shaping once it's cut off, this right here is really going to end up being really either concave or convex. So if you do some of the shaping while it's still attached, and again it's hollow, but if you wanted to, you may have to actually put one little hole in the middle here so you can have some give, because you can start the shaping and it's going to be still really round. So depending on if you want really nice, you can actually keep going with these and make them very sharp.
So you do the shaping before you cut the cork hole?
Yes. Oh yeah. You start the shaping and stuff like that, and the holes here are usually the last,
Right.
and then those right there. But I said this is just a little. This is a technique, that y'all may not do much of doing closed forms, and closed forms. You can do little things like this. You can even do large forms, and there's so much you can do. Teapots. I've got a teapot that I used to close form, and I made it oval and put spouts and handles and stuff like that on it. So. I just wanted to give you a little something fun to have, to do. And these are just examples. I think Kara, who did this last time, made hers look like her mugs with the texture and stuff like that. I can imagine Kristen here doing her little carvings all over. She may keep them round, because that will go with her pieces. So she could do, a little shape that's similar to her cups, easily. I don't know. We'll see what y'all do, because I want y'all to have fun for the last class, and this last class also being this is going to be way too much. So I am going to already cut the top of this off. Okay. This is probably about a 1/4 pound. This is some nice soft clay. And this is the first time I will have thrown since my little incident.
This was the acorn,
So,
and it was glazed and then it was finished.
the little acorn.
Yeah. Oh, how adorable. And it was, it was about that big. I was looking for the salt and peppers that I made last time.
Okay. Let's see how this works. And one thing that's nice is this clay is soft.
And the water is warm.
Yeah. So this is going to end up, instead of being a pound, this is about 3/4. And I have an advantage since I throw the pigs balls and the balls for the pigs and the sheep that Lori sells. So the sheep balls or the sheeples, they're in the gallery. Those are the balls that I throw. So I know how to close. So I have a big advantage. So I'm keeping it small. I don't want it real wide unless you want a really neat little
From the last time. They
you
were
know,
just
wide,
round.
flat little thing. So I'm just going in, opening up.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Opening up like you would a cup. You don't want to leave it too thick in the bottom, as with anything. And if need to, I can go in there and figure out the thickness, but I don't want to get it too thin. I don't want to leave it too thick. So let's see.
Judgments,
Were you doing a little less than a quarter?
Yeah, and it probably, yeah, I wouldn't get any skinnier, any thinner than that, because you always lose when you cut it off. So I'm just getting rid of that little hole that I just did there. So I just gave myself a place to pull up. And I'm going to try to keep it kind of in the cone. Oh, that warm water, that's no good. I forgot to soften this. Okay, even, it doesn't matter even if it's, what size it is. I want to try to keep the top nice and level. Just trying to go back down here to get some of that thickness out of the bottom. Let's see. I'm just double checking the thickness here. It's not too bad. I'm just trying to think. I may just do the cylinder. I'm just kind of, because I've already got it as tall as I'm going to get it. Now this right here, obviously the base was a little smaller. So if I want to do that, if I find that this right here is going to be a little too wide, what I'm going to try to do I'm going to try to push in a little bit and do another little pull, but I'm trying to get a smaller diameter. So it could be that I was able to push that, but this other right here, I'm going to torque it. So what I'm going to do is now do a little collaring in. Just do a little. One thing you want to make sure is that when you do this, you don't want to get it too thin here at the top. Because when you try to start collaring it in, it's going to really ripple, and that just won't work. So I'm about ready to start collaring it in. Just going to make sure there's no extra water down in there. And obviously I just made that a little wider, and I'm just going to start. I'm going to start down here and not here at the top, just to go in, because it's going to be going all the way in, and I'm going to go slow. Because my hands want to go immediately very fast to do this. So I'm going to try to just take my time. Because one thing that happens when you start collaring it in, that means this wall is getting a little thicker. So you do a little collaring in, then I'm going to just do a little pull. Because I don't want it, because sometimes when you collar it in, it also ripples a little bit on the inside there. And I'm just going to be putting water here on the outside where I'm collaring it in. This is just a natural thing my hand does. I don't know, this right here gives me like 5 points to work with, and it's just something that my hands naturally do. This one will not, but this one will. So again, I'm just kind of working it in. Go back here again, thinning it out. Okay, if I keep going, okay, this is, going in a little bit more. Again, check the thickness. And you can see I'm actually got a little bit of a lip there. That's actually giving me something to work with as I'm going in. This is the tricky part, trying to get it to close in. Okay, it's still getting a little thick, so you got to figure out now how in the world. Okay, and this is one thing that I found is using my pinky. And just slowly going in, and it just comes right off. And I said I've had years of working with this.
Years.
Yes, years.
Decades.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. And I'm just, helping to round it off a little bit. And then, let's see. I'm gonna use my wood stick here. Remember, if you're going if you're going in like this, you're actually pushing it in. So I tilt this just a little bit to make sure I'm cutting the clay.
Julia Lee called. She's running late. She's on her way.
Is she? Okay, she's already gone through this since she's repeating the class. So thank you. Okay, kind of got it cleaned off because I wanted to do that before I got my rib out here. To do a little more. And that's the nice thing about these nice soft ribs. But you can really use them smooth off. Okay.
Very nice.
Now I can do another one because I've got 3 balls here.